If you follow me on Snap and Instagram, there's a video that I had decided to put out in reference to this video that I am deciding to do right now. Today's video is entitled, I Have Something to Say, and I'm gonna leave this here.
So you know the vibe.
Always, 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 always.
And we lit. So I ain't seen this girl in a minute.
Oh, that away. As I said in my previous post, this video, the purpose for this video is not to tear anybody down. It is not to sit up here and be a bully publicly. It's not to cyberbully anybody. And it is not to sow any seeds of discord. Things that have somehow had me to a distance. Things that I don't really find that most of my family members have the eagerness to really talk about. To my mother's side of the family that comes from the dear and beloved Big Mama Juanita Guyton. Within the 9-year time frame that my immediate family has been here, and then within the 5-year time frame that I have been here, I have really seen some upside down things within this family that I would have never thought that would come to life. I will say this much: if you have never wronged me, if you have never done anything to me to make me look at you all types of ways, then this video is not dedicated to you. So I don't need anybody jumping all up in their skin talking about some, oh, I disgrace and dishonor the family. No. The purpose of this video, like I said, is not going to be to tear anybody down. However, I am going to be stating some things that are indeed factual, and I am going to be telling everybody as of now exactly how I have felt within countless scenarios of countless situations that I have had with some of my cousins here and to some of my other family members here. To begin with, I am so sick of the majority of you thinking that I am just this huge Jolly Rancher pack full of sugar or something, like I'm just this little kid that y'all were used to from the time that I had me and my family, from the time that we had first all moved from Tennessee. I'm not this little girl that y'all are used to anymore, and I'm pretty sure that y'all clearly see that, but I see that some of y'all haven't got that out of y'all heads yet. And you have sized me up, you have talked about me, you have criticized me, and you be all like this right here within my face, but you have so much to say while I'm not present. If I was a fly on the wall, I believe that I would not be kicking it or cackling with the half of y'all. I mean, it's just almost senseless. That's the type of stuff that makes my flesh crawl. If you clearly have a problem with me, or there's something that you're concerned about, half of the problems that I be having with my freaking family members, my so-called family members on my mother's side, some of y'all act like y'all don't know how to come to the main source that you actually have a problem with. You got to go to about 5 or 6, 9 different people and tell them about a situation that they can't even fix, nor are they even a part of the equation, but you go to them before you go to the actual person that you suspicious about, have bad vibes about, are talking about, or wanting to know some stuff about, all of that. And just to let y'all know, this just may be a 2 or 3 part segment. That's because everything that I want to talk about, I'm going to make sure that it is documented somewhere up on a piece of paper or up on a pad or something, just to have me to remember every key point that I want to bring out in all these videos. That's because there's been a ton of things that's been up on my chest that I have had to say, really even before any of my grandmothers or any of these other matriarchs in the family had started passing away. One of them is, from the very get-go, when I was every bit of in between the age of 14 or 15, I was going to East Gaston High at the time. Yes, me and my family was, of course, still living in Florida. And when the holidays had came, we came to Humboldt and Jackson, Tennessee, majority of the time whenever we had came to visit my mother's side of the family. So on this particular Thursday, I want to say, Thanksgiving Day, we all had decided to gather up over to an uncle's house. I would show the uncle's house that we was at, but I honestly don't want no backlash of sitting up here showing a very scenery of where something tragic, or should I say more so traumatic, happened at. But to detail this chapter a little more, it took place over in Humboldt. This was a cold night, I remember, and some of my mom's company, as far as her sisters and cousins and stuff like that, I remember was sitting up in the living room area. Some people was up in the other parts of the house and things like that, and me and my cousins and everything and the little crew and everything was outside playing. This is the part that has me going like, ooh, thank you God for allowing me and my family to be away from what could have been a part of our lives. Thank you for not allowing us to come up in not only a town like this, but I'm honestly grateful that I did not come up with this family. Very much glad that I did not. That's because, first off, and I'm not afraid to say this, but if anything was hot-natured like a darn bomb out here, it was the incest that was going on in this family. And quite honestly, I have heard different stories. Half of y'all's names have came up, and to be honest, I feel like y'all had most definitely had tried to put me up in that number. Far as I know, I am not cut from the same cloth as the lot of you. So as me and my cousins are playing this hide and seek game, somebody gets a bit swollen in the area. No lie, somebody did go too far, and their whole private area ends up coming out on one of my female cousins' butts. That cousin runs to my auntie, which is her mother, and tells her exactly what has happened. Next thing I know, everybody is pulled in for questioning. And at this point, I'm like, what in the world is going on? I thought that we was all playing a game. Next thing I know, my freaking name is being swallowed up in the equation. And of all people, I was realized blamed for being bent over and was about to assume, or should I say, assume a position or whatever, however y'all explain it, of technically having a little fun in a sexual way with one of my cousins. As far as how that was insinuated, I have no idea, but at this clear moment in time, I was still a virgin. Before everybody started getting questioned, I overheard one of my cousins that's not really one of my cousins for real, but she was more so adopted into the family, and I'm not gonna lie, but this girl stayed getting me and my sister into all types of trouble. It just seems like I could never come upstate and have a good time with my people without this girl always coming up to my mama with a slight grin, but ready to make trouble. So being that this same, should I say, step cuz had decided to go all up to her dad and to whoever else and was saying that she had saw me with my pants down, well, true enough, I had got myself into a tight, very immature of me, was having too much fun, and I did not feel like flying into the house just to go and take myself a leak. So true enough, I flopped my pants down, and I was about to do the little do. Next thing I know, I see this same step cousin coming towards me right along with my other cousins who was playing the hide and seek game right along with me. And I'm sitting up here like, why in the world are all of y'all coming behind this car? And I'm clearly trying to have some privacy, because for a good little minute I did not see anybody outside, and I thought that was my little release of break. So this troublemaking tail cousin decides to start laughing hysterically. And I knew that I was up for a round of trouble after I had saw all of this happen. So I was preparing for the worst before all was even said and done. So by the time I even get in the house, of course, the whole demeanor is weird. I'm reading the room, and clear as day, it's just not looking like a happy setup as a family anymore that's trying to enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner. Next thing I know, I see one of my uncles pulling me to the side talking about somebody had came and told me that you had your pants down outside. And to be honest, I kind of went cross-eyed because I'm like, okay, so what is the imply here? Because whatever it is beyond this point, if it's anything else other than a restroom break, I'm really about to call you a creep, because why in the world are you looking at me like that? And whereas me and my uncle was alone at first, next thing I know, I look dead tail one by one at some of my family members. I'm looking at a whole multitude of people standing all around the kitchen area, as my mama and daddy had even came in the room. I cannot believe it. Y'all, my messy tail family really, I've even had my mother convinced that something hadn't happened in the backyard. And then my uncle even had the audacity. He was like, shoot, we had all played hide and go seek too. But then after a while, it turns into hide and go get it. And I'm sitting up here like, so you think that that's what it was with me? And at that time, y'all, I was wearing just like this little bracelet right here, you know, with a scripture and everything. I was wearing something like it was a glow in the dark, one of these type of bracelets that said something like, it's great to wait. I was a full virgin at this time, and I cannot believe that my family really had tried to set me up and make it seem like I was out back making something happen with one of my cousins. Like, are y'all serious? And it was one of my younger cousins at that. And to be honest, I noticed that after this incident had happened, I didn't really see very much of the cousin that I was accused of doing anything with. And I can't really say that I even blame him. And the part that, y'all, that gets me so freaking hot is the part of where one of my older cousins decided to slide me in a room by myself just to have a conversation, a girl talk. The part that makes me mad is the simple fact that my cousin, I don't really feel like she's trying to be on my side. Of all things, I felt like she was only trying to get me to confess that I had done something that I did not even do. It might have been something that she did. That's because, word up, when she was talking to me, she's practically admitting some stuff that I really don't even think that she had any business sharing with me. And I was like, ill. I wouldn't even dare tell anybody else that if I were you. But do not make this seem as if what my situation is yours too. No, that's a whole different story. First of all, I'm nothing like you, and you're not fixing to sit up here and paint this picture as if I'm like the same image as you. And this was one cousin who I had always labeled as like a best friend, but you want to sit up here and pull me to a room by myself thinking that I'm technically guilty. And it just seems like, my cousins up here, up in this area, and it's not every single last one of y'all. It's not all of y'all, but the majority of you, it's like by the time that my family had moved up here for real, y'all were just so ready to just pull the Thomas kids into a whole sequence and into a whole picture that was painted basically for us to be some toxic people and some troublemaking folk. So all because of this dispute in the kitchen with my goddamn family on this Thanksgiving day. I remember plain this day when I'm getting in the car, my mom and dad already looked like they halfways ready to go on and on about the situation in which they did. And from the time that I even got in the car good, plain this day, y'all, my daddy reaches in the back seat and punched me dead in the side of my leg. And I'm sitting up here like, what in the world is that for? Y'all know that I'm not that type of person. Y'all gonna really sit up here and let this tainted behind family convince y'all that something happened in the backyard? Like, are y'all really that slow? Y'all act like y'all not the ones that raised me, and y'all act like y'all don't freaking know me. Oh, how freaking hurt I was, y'all, about that whole situation. I could not halfway sleep that night, especially before I had went went to bed, my mama had real life asked to smell my underwear in hopes to find some evidence that supposedly that, you know, just to find somebody guilty. But in return of all of that, I overhear her talking to one of her siblings. She has always been a clean person. Truth be told, I don't even really even smell anything. You can't even tell that she really had even wore these panties. Of course so. I was 14 or 15 years old at the time. Y'all, for the life of me, I was realized still motherfucking playing with brats and Barbies. Are you kidding me? PK wasn't interested in no sex. I felt a certain way about the family ever since then. It's not inclusion with everybody, but it's most definitely to the half of you, the some of you. Like, so that's why I had a whole lot of disdain and discouragement and hesitation as far as coming up here to this area, because I saw this family for what it was really before BB, as in my mom's mom, passed away. And if I was any amount of the person that I am right now, if I was this person back then, first of all, I would have let everybody in that room have it. My mama and daddy probably would have ended up in a war with me. That's because I know I sure enough would have let them have it. No, no disrespect, but y'all not finna sit up here and help nobody gang up on me. And here I am. I'm in the middle of the pot in the room and I'm being steamed up and ain't nobody on my goddamn side. After Thanksgiving Day, or should I say that night, I do believe that we all had gathered up over to my grandma BB's house the next day. I'm not gonna lie, but for the longest time when me and my immediate family had first showed up, I sat to the back of the van. I honestly was ready to return back home, and to be honest, if it was all up to me, y'all, I was not gonna ever come back up here. Y'all was not gonna ever see me again. But as time progressed, I had learned to move on and to forgive even without an I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause right here. I'm gonna pause here. If you wish to come with me within the second part of this whole segment, of this whole episode, come on. I beg you. You will literally have no regrets, because everything that I'm going to be talking about, like I said, is based on true story. This is all based on true events. It won't be a thing that's up in here that's made up. Just like the story time of hit me if you bad. That's what's made up. But this story time ain't. So if y'all ready for some real adventure and some real stories, hang along with me in this episode, like I just said. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. Have a nice day.